your tickets, licenses, trade certificates and other qualifications all in one location, and you can then upload an image for each and add your resume, and then we give you a really neat PDF representation of all of that. Ex-Russian military copter, like this massive military one, and it was so loud, talk about hearing protection, it was crazy.
Hello and welcome to the Beers with a Miner podcast, episode number 34. This week is a happy hour episode where I sit down with Matt Tomlins from Covercard. My name is Mad Mumsy and I've been driving the huge dump trucks in Australian open cut mines for over 10 years now. I wish I had $1 for everyone who said to me, "How does a little thing like you drive those big trucks? Oh, you must be rich. How do I get a job doing that?" My mining friends are asked these questions all the time too. This is what started the Mad Mumsy journey to share stories and tips from living a mining lifestyle and to let others know what it's really like. Tune in each episode as I sit down for a relaxed chat, usually over a few beers, with a fellow miner. Women and blokes with various experience, roles and opinions share their lessons and stories with you. Not everyone is cut out to be a miner, but why not? What does it take to thrive and survive in this industry? This podcast is proudly brought to you by Bantax Accounting Group, helping us miners to use our hard-earned money wisely. And you can head to madmumsy.com/money to find out some more. Now, let's dig in. Get it? Dig. Mining. Crack me up. Welcome to the podcast, Matt.
Thank you very much, Mad Mumsy. It's awesome to be here. Did you do that joke every time?
I do, and my little laugh at the end gets a bit creepy sometimes.
That's all right. No, look, let's dig into it. I think hopefully there's some good tips and advice that I can help share with you and your listeners. So yep. Absolutely.
I'm sure that there is. Now, I know that a few years ago I changed jobs after I was in one job for 8 years.
Yes.
And then I had to, please, we need front and back copy of your license. We need all your RIIs,
yep.
Your Cobalt Medical, your Standard 11,
yes.
that and that.
Yep.
As well as your resume,
yep.
And just shoot it off in an email.
Yep.
I've got it all hanging here on a bit of paper.
Yeah.
And it's just a nightmare, and I know a lot of fellas as well. I've personally helped 3 people do it.
Yes.
And I had to scan it all, upload it.
Sounds like a nightmare, hey? Yeah. Sounds like a real hassle. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Can you share with us what you're doing to help us?
Absolutely. That's you've exactly identified the problem that we're helping solve with Covercard. So it's all about having your tickets, licenses, trade certificates and other qualifications all in one location. And you can then upload an image for each, and you can actually upload 2, so you can cover that front and back issue that you mentioned there. And then you can also add your resume to your profile as well. And then we give you a really neat PDF representation of all of those things. On the first page, it outlines the tickets, licenses, qualifications that you have. It's got your contact details on there to make it really easy for an employer to get in touch with you.
Yep.
And then on the following pages, there's the images of the various licenses and qualifications or trade certificates that you've added.
Yep.
And then at the end, there's your resume. So it's all of that information really neatly presented, all in one spot. And the best part about it is it's then really easy to share that. So that what you've just spoken about having things in different spots, when you jump on to your Covercard account, you can just enter an email address and press send, and then you've sent that off to wherever you need it to go, be that to an employer that wants to look at your information, or a friend or a colleague or whoever else you want to share that information with. It's really useful to do, particularly like from your phone. So once you've created your profile and you've got it all there, if you've got a smoko break or wherever you are, you've got your phone and you see a job or you want to share your information simply, you can just jump in and into the email and press send.
I'll just pop in there because
yes.
I know that I've been out at work and
yep.
people have seen a job that they want to apply for.
Yep.
And they have to either get the wife at home to try and send it, or they can't do it until they get back because they haven't got their laptop with them, or
yep.
there's no service, so they've got
yep.
the internet out there. So
yep.
to be able to do it from your phone,
yep.
that's
I mean,
huge.
if you think about the office guys, it's they've got a computer in front of them all day, and if they want to apply for another job, it's really easy. But it's not always easy if you don't have your laptop with you. And often it's particularly in your Facebook news feed these days, you'll often see jobs pop up that says quickly send send your tickets and licenses and your resume to this email. And then like you say, you'd have to like save that post or put a follow on it, or jump on the phone to your wife, husband, or partner, and it's really inefficient. Whereas with what we can do, you just in literally 5 seconds, enter an email, press send, and then away it goes. So it just makes it a whole lot more easy, I hope.
So you only have to upload them once?
That's right.
And perhaps if you get a new one or something's expired and you...
Absolutely, and you can
just update it at any time?
Yeah, totally. So you can just jump in and edit your account. If you add an image to which most people would want to for the tickets or licenses, you can also enter an expiry date, and we'll give you a reminder, a 1 and a 3 month reminders of that as well. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that helps you, because I know it can be easy to lose track, especially if you've got quite a number of these of the different cards, about when they're expiring. So we're really trying to make it give people a really useful tool to manage all of these things and then easily share them.
Well, I know with our standard 11, I know actually it was with the company that I work for, our site induction.
Yep.
It only lasts for 12 months.
Yep.
And they told us at the induction it's up to us to make sure we get onto site. If we do it on site, we just go into the office and do something on the computer and it's easy.
Yep.
But if it expires, we have to go back and pay the $140 or whatever it was to do it again, go into Mackay, do the whole effort. And I only just noticed the other day when mine expired, I've got till August.
Okay.
So I thought, is it August or March? I wouldn't have a clue. Can't remember.
People don't, it's not a natural, it's not the most important thing in your life to remember when things are expiring, right? There's much more important things to do. So, like if you, use Cover Card, it can help, for your own peace of mind, really, that you know that these things are being, you'll get reminders via email, and then, you can then deal with it when that happens. So.
Well, because it can lock you out of sight.
Yeah.
Like Barrett can't get in. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially on, say, a BMA site or something.
Yep.
We have to swipe to get in, or, to get through a gate. A lot of sites are like that.
Yep.
And they just say, no, something or other's expired. Sorry, you can't go to work.
Yeah.
And you're in, 3 hours away from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to be organised.
The time, and obviously that means you're not going to earn money for those shifts as well, right? So it can have a really big impact, and it's just a really simple, straightforward solution to help solve that. So
that's awesome.
Can I talk about how you can share with your friends with Facebook?
Absolutely. I think something that, before we go on to that, is I can hear my listeners going, that's great. How much?
Yep.
How much does it cost?
Yep. So it's completely free for a worker or a job seeker to use. So
Perfect.
It's simple as that. So how we make, the next question normally is how do we make money, right? So we're a business, so we have to make money as well. But we're a startup business, so we take a long-term view of how we want to make money in the longer term. But we charge employers a flat fee of $49 to create a role on our system and specify the tickets and licenses that they're looking for in a job. Yeah. So we charge employers, and if your tickets and licenses meet the requirements and you're in the right location, you'll actually get an alert from us to say, hey, this job's just been posted. If you're interested, you can just opt in a couple of clicks.
Yep.
And so, that can be quite useful. And you can turn that feature off. If you don't want to get emails, you can turn that off, right?
Work.
Yeah.
For now.
Exactly. So,
so it's actually a job board.
Yeah,
we call them, not a job board.
Yeah, we try to avoid job board because there's so many job boards out there.
I know. Yeah, I don't like that.
We basically see it as helping, because we can help an employer more quickly filter for the tickets and licenses to more quickly find workers. So, if they put an ad out and they get lots of people applying, with our system, they can more quickly identify of the people applying which one's a better match based on licenses.
And go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hope it's useful. I mean, it was originally the idea of my business partner, John.
Yes.
Who's a boilermaker who does fly-in, fly-out work in WA.
All right.
And shutdowns. Mm-hmm. And so, we're having a chat one day, and he pulled out his wallet, and he just pulled out all the different cards and inductions and bits of paper that he had, and then he reached into his bag and pulled out some more, and it was like, wow, this is there must be a much better way to do this.
And especially if you're doing shutdowns, because you go to so many different sites, so you have to be on top. You'd have different inductions for all the different sites. I know a lot of contract fitters.
Yes.
You go from site to site to site to site.
Yep.
So, I know what I go through just to get a job in one site, but to keep up with everything across all the sites that you work at is...
Absolutely. And that was, you have even more things to expire in that case, right, as well.
All the more reason for cover card.
Yeah, that's right.
So you fitters listening, get on board.
That's right. Oh, it was very much came from John's experience. Yeah.
So how did it then go from seeing all his cards? Did you sit down and have a beer and have a chat?
Yeah, we did.
We could do something.
This is Beers with a Minor. We actually had a coffee.
A coffee, that's all right.
That's all right.
That's allowed.
But John originally thought that we could develop a smart card, so one card to cover all your different licenses. We looked into that, but a little bit hard to implement because you need so many different bodies and regulations, different states and things to be on board to make that happen.
They'd all have to recognise your one card.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So when we thought about, what about a profile with that information that had 95% of that same value, but also more useful for that having that document that you can then easily share, and that's typically what an employer or a recruiter wants to see is which cards do you have, and obviously your resume as well. But we dug into it, and we spoke to some people in recruitment and employment, and particularly in Perth. Yeah, they said, hey, we really like the way that document's presented. That's been the most common feedback that we've got that PDF document. They really
because that's like a real summary.
Yeah, it is. It is.
This is where I am. This is what I can do. These are my tickets.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
All on one, and then everything to back it up.
All the images come
with it.
The behind, and then the resume as well.
Instead of wading through a resume.
That's right. And it's when you're looking to get a job, obviously the best you can present yourself, the better chance you have of getting a job. Absolutely. And that's certainly something that we hear a lot from the recruiters and employers that we work with, that hey, we really like the way this document is presented. It makes it so clear and easy for us to understand. Yeah. And then there's that evidence behind of the cards themselves. So
So as we sit here in March 2017, how long has Cover Card been going? You said you're a startup.
Well, yeah. So we were working on it. Probably 2 to 3 years. We've had this. We've been working on it. And when I say working on it, that's from like the very first conversation, coffee with John, and how do we do this? So so we spent a bit of time sort of researching and thinking about it, and we spent a lot of time also looking at how jobs are advertised. So we spend a lot of time looking on Seek and looking at the qualifications that are really common and that are always asked for. Yeah, we just did a whole bunch of research, and then we then looked to work with a developer to help us out. And we had a couple of false starts in that area because we wanted them as a partner in our business, and they had other things going on at the time, bits and pieces. So anyway, we ended up working with a company in Melbourne that's helped us build the product, and they're a sort of a small investor in our company as well. And we first launched it in April last year with like a closed test. So I guess it's coming
like a beta group.
But like a beta group. Yeah, exactly. And then we got some feedback, and then we did some work on it, and then it's really only been since September last year that we've really been talking about it more and starting to, we've done a little bit of social media and Facebook ads and stuff like that to get the word out about it. But,
and now a podcast.
Now a podcast, of course. Yeah. It's a great chance to meet you and, have a chat about this stuff. And,
and thanks to my sister, Drury, Hard Hat Mentor.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I mean, again, that's the power of social media. That was via social media, LinkedIn, right? Yeah. So, it is a good way to, these sort of tools to connect to people and easily share information,
That's right.
And networking is so important now, I think.
A lot of people poo-poo social media as a time waster and Facebook. And it can be if you're just looking at cat pictures.
Hey, what about videos?
So
Cat
your
videos.
I'm a dog person.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, me too. I'm not so keen on the cats, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but just scrolling through.
Yeah.
When you use it for networking and
I like there's heaps of jobs out there now. Like, I mean,
jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure your listeners jump on some of the different Facebook groups for jobs in different, like, there's FIFO construction jobs is a big page, or there's jobs for Queensland and WA and mining jobs pages, and it is a good way to keep up with what jobs are out there and what's going on as well. So,
Well, I find that a lot of the contract labour hire places, they just put up a picture on their Facebook page.
Yep.
And then they'll chuck it up on Twitter as well.
Yep.
And then everyone's sharing that. And that there's no real clickable link, but it has all the details on there. I thought, gee, they just quickly whipped it up on Canva or something.
Yeah.
And then, and then
Absolutely,
put it out there.
absolutely.
What a great way to do it.
Yeah, look, I mean, and certainly like when we've certainly found like when we're sharing jobs from our side on Facebook, like that's where we get heaps of people commenting and recommending their friends or sharing it,
tagging a friend,
tagging.
I think, I've had all these comments. Oh no, they tag.
It's all the same.
But that's all right. It's still so you have that on your Facebook page as well. You share jobs.
We do. Yep, we do.
Yeah.
So jobs that are posted on our site, we'll put them up on our Facebook as well.
And what's your Facebook page?
Cover Card. So it's actually My Cover Card.
My Cover Card.
Yes, but if you just search for Cover Card, it will come up. Well.
I'll leave all the links in the show notes. The show notes for this episode will be found at madmumsy.com/beers34, the number 34.
Awesome. Gee, you've done a few podcasts now, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I've got, at the moment, I released another one last night. So
okay.
31 live. 3 in the can, you'll third one in, got to get my editing hat on the next few days.
Geez, you're really getting it out there. It's fantastic. And it's great to have this service to help, to seem like it's not just what we're trying to do, right, about giving people a way, make lives a little bit easier and make, because the insights, from driving a dump truck, that's, unless you've really been out there and done some of those things, like it's a different perspective, isn't it? And really experienced it. So
that's right. And so many people, like I say in the beginning, I think I'll get a job in the mines, that'll fix everything. Yeah. But it can also, I won't say because you seem like a nice young gentleman.
No, it's the mine. Go for it.
But it can also mess everything up. Your family can fall apart. You think you're going to be rich, you spend money on what you shouldn't be spending on, you buy a bigger house and a bigger boat, and then you lose your job, or the coal mining or whatever resources industry you're in has a downturn, which we've just seen, and then there's all the mental health issues that come from it as well. So there's just so much more to it than just the money.
No, absolutely. And so previously when I was working in the mining industry, I wasn't on the tools to be up front, but I was
the mining industry.
I was out there on site. I spent a year working in Laos in Southeast Asia at an MMG mine, and I was on a 2-week
What sort of mine is that?
It's a copper gold mine out there. I think the gold's now just since I've left there they've stopped the gold, but it's still a big copper mine, and there's lots of Aussies working over there as expats, as well as a lot of local Laos staff as well, and but it's certainly that 12-hour days on the site back to back for 2 weeks, it can definitely take a toll on the way that how tired you feel, but also on the way you see the world sometimes as well, right?
And you weren't even in the country.
No, that's right. Look, this was like a remote. This was quite remote in the jungle actually. Like it was really quite a fair way out, and we flew in on a little plane, and the mine had some sort of hills around it, so they had to be really careful when they were kind of coming in to me, so it was a little bit hairy.
And
I had to sort of drop quite fast as well, because I had to sort of go over the hill and then sort of drop down.
Like a helicopter.
Sometimes they did. When it was raining, they couldn't do the light plane. We used helicopters, and so I think the most fun was the Russian, ex-Russian military copter, like this massive, big kind of military one, and it was so loud, talk about hearing protection. It was crazy, and but quite an experience, like a military. And you were kind of sitting around the edge and sort of strapped in like this, and
straight out of the movie.
Yeah, that's right. I felt like I needed to jump out and shoot something, but I didn't get that opportunity. But,
well, speaking of jumping out, shooting things in a lot of those mines overseas, some of the local people get into the mines, and they was it how was that?
Look, the biggest thing in at the mine was called Sepon in the southern Laos, and the biggest thing there was the landmines actually. So during the Vietnam War, a number of landmines had been dropped there, and so before they could dig a new area, they had a team of people out there with metal detectors and making sure that the space was clear, and often they'd have to do controlled detonations of these landmines. So it was really quite interesting, and there's literally a few hundred people in this team. In rainy season especially, like the ground gets really sort of muddy, and getting out and actually finding, making sure you've covered everywhere really carefully, because the trees grew very quickly and stuff as well. So it was a really quite an experience.
Were there any women over there working
when
you were there?
There were, absolutely, and so some of the people I enjoyed working with most were a number of the ladies. So it was a project moving the mining. Like they had a Thai company doing a lot of the mining, like a mining contractor, and then they were bringing that into the Lao mining company himself. Mm-hmm. And so I worked a lot with both local people, but also like the HR people and the training people, because I needed to make sure people were trained to the right standards when they were coming into the bigger company. And certainly like both the HR manager and the training manager were ladies, and one of them's a Queensland person as well that I'm due to catch up with in the next couple of weeks. Tanya, I'll mention Tanya's name. Made really good friends there as well. And
it's a big part of working together in those sort of, even just here in Queensland, your crew, they become family. You don't love all of them,
absolutely.
It's like the annoying brother and the grumpy old
it's uncle. It's like Mad Mums. You've got to have nicknames and a bit of fun with it, right? And,
you've got to roll with it. That's
and certainly like, obviously you're spending 12 hours a day working with them, but then you have meals with. And then, even in an environment like in Laos, right, where people are all different backgrounds, and you treat people with respect, and they'll treat you with respect, I think. And that's really what it comes down to a lot of the time. And,
that's an important thing for people coming into the industry as well. If you can just respect, come in with open eyes and just respect everyone. I
think when you first come in as well, it is about being learning, like really being really open to learning about how things are done, and not, I guess, not thinking that you're there now and this is like,
I've been here for 2 weeks, so tell me one.
Yeah, that's right. That sort of attitude, and
doesn't work.
Nah, people respect you. You need to respect people that have been there around a bit longer than you, but once you do the right things, you show yourself to be a good, good worker, a good colleague, then people, they want to work with you.
And something I try to point out to people as well is, if you are one of the older people, help the new ones. They're not always young new ones, but help the new people that are coming through.
Yep.
Just see if they're all right. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And answer them on the two-way when no one else is, or have a chat to them at the crew park if they weren't sure what happened.
Yeah. So look, it is like the first time I went to site, where do you go? What do you do? Or do I go in that line for the food? There's really like things that you can easily take for granted after you've been there a few weeks and kind of get the lie of the land. But it's not. It can be you're away from family and friends as well. So the more people can help and support each other, I think out there the better.
Yeah. What was the thing you struggled with the most when you first started?
Well, I mean, are we running a tech? So the Wi-Fi was a bit patchy out there, believe it or not, and so that helps you connect. That's sort of your way of connecting with people.
It's your only way.
And you jump on the phones or whatever. But it's like I found that there's a sense of isolation, I think, some of the time, and Facebook can be a great way to keep in touch, but you can also see what all your what all your mates are doing that aren't at site, and that was in back in Perth or Melbourne or whatever, and the things that they're getting up to and having fun, and so obviously it's missing out on some things, but you also know that you're doing it because you're whether it's creating more financial benefits for yourself, or it's just learning process, build your skills, and you know, and then you really enjoy the time that you have off as well, right? Like your breaks, you can really make the most of them, I think.
So that's a good segue into what is it that you enjoy doing when you are on break? What is your happy
Drinking
place?
beer, is that allowed? Or beers are the minor, right? So
we didn't ask that question yet. We'll have to come to that.
Yes.
Sometimes it's the last question I ask.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you did warn me about that one beforehand. Yeah. Look, I just listening to music and having a swim, believe it or not. So whether that's in a pool or at the beach, and just
nice.
Really relaxing. A couple of beers are always good on an afternoon on a balcony or somewhere and looking out with a bit of a view, or next to the beach or overlooking near the pool. So,
and what sort of beer?
Oh, well, I drink all. I like pale ale, so I'm originally from WA, so I always like the little creatures beers. They're from Freo down there. Don't know if you know. Have you ever heard of that? But I generally, Carlton drafts and things like that don't go astray. I haven't moved up here to Brisbane not long ago, and I've had a couple of 4X's, but they're still growing on me, I think. So.
Have you tried Forex Gold? Surely they haven't been making you drink a Forex Heavy.
I think it's Forex Gold. Yeah, it's Forex Gold, right? Gold label on the that's the one. Yeah,
that's right.
Is that your beer of choice?
Forex Gold in a can.
Right. Not the bottle? What's the difference?
It's stubby. I like the sound of opening the can.
Yeah. And that's sort of a moment of relaxation, isn't it? When it's like...
They get colder quicker.
Oh, yeah.
Colder.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I've just always preferred them. Okay. But there's a lot of bars you go to and they don't have them in a can. You have to have a stubby.
Yes. Right.
And there are some places that don't even have them in the stubby. You're lucky to get onto that.
Oh, no.
Because it might be a craft beer place. What do you mean you haven't got Forex Gold? I'm in Queensland.
What about on the site you work at? Is it a wet site? Or,
no, where I am is it in a town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a town club.
Yeah, perfect.
That you go, but you're allowed to take your own beers and have them in your room.
Okay.
Another camp I stayed at, you weren't allowed to take alcohol into the camp.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I think a few people, kind of smuggled them in.
Yeah.
But
that's not that common, is it? I mean,
no. Yes, I don't know.
Okay.
And then because they had a wet mess there.
Yep.
But you could drink as much as you want when you're there.
Yes.
I think it shut about 9, so they never stay open too late. But if you wanted takeaways, you weren't allowed to get any more than 3 a night.
Right. Okay.
And you had to sign the book and write down your room
wow,
number.
that's a bit full on, isn't it? What's happening? People got to take responsibility for their own choices in life.
I don't know about everyone else, but I like to just go back to my room.
Yep.
Open the door, sit on the step, take off my boots, have a beer, bring the family,
relax,
check baseball,
see
what those cats are doing. And I don't want to go down to the bar.
Yeah.
Then you end up staying and drinking 10 because you run into someone you know. Or, Yeah, so 3 per night, and they tied them up in a little bag. And
wow.
But when I first started there, they'd only just started letting them do that.
Oh,
they
really?
Banned it altogether. You had to drink in the wet mess.
I mean, this is one of the things that always, you've got to let people, they've got to live their lives, right? And so, whilst it's, you're away from family, and you got, you need to have some, comforts and ways to relax and friends and things like that there. So
some people obviously overstep the mark, so they're punishing everybody.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened. And I did used to look around and you'd see a bottle of this chucked in the garden, and I thought, well, if you're going to smuggle something in, at least bring something that they sell at the bar.
Yes, absolutely.
Really,
come on, common sense, guys. Get it together. Yeah.
You're going to spoil it again for everybody.
Yeah, no. No one will be able to do it. So,
So that's swimming. Was your happy?
Yeah, swimming. Yeah. Swimming's a nice, relaxing to do. I like my sport. So I like my cricket. I like cricket.
Really?
So,
I love cricket.
Do you like cricket? Yeah. So again, beer and a cricket,
handy.
And I'm more than happy to sit there for the whole 7 hours of the day.
Yes.
6-7 hours.
Do you even like tests?
Yeah, I love tests.
Me too.
I probably prefer them more than
Test
the 2020s. And
yeah,
so,
it's kind of like it's selling out.
Yeah.
A bit Americanised,
Yeah.
but it gets a lot more people into cricket
yes.
who
Yeah.
don't usually go, and I'm more likely to get my daughters to come with me to the cricket
Yeah.
because it's not a test.
Yeah, that's
although
true.
they've been brainwashed pretty well
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's a good. I mean, it's the 2020 is a good introduction to it, but yeah, like there's nothing like sitting on the couch with your feet up and not even always watching the cricket. It's just sort of happening there in the background. And,
That's right. That's what I say when the test is on. Doesn't mean I'm sitting here all day doing nothing. You can have it on, pop back in, and I like to listen to it on the radio
Yes,
as well.
yes,
so you
yes.
don't have the ads.
Yep.
That was my dad's thing.
Okay.
As I was a kid, we'd be in the pool out the back. Cricket was just always on, TV on, sound turned down.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
the
that's.
ABC
And I used to love listening to it when they went and played in England and stuff, and at night time listening to all the commentators there and stuff. So.
Especially when you're on night shift. They played it when the Ashes
perfect.
are on.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's...
As a kid, I used to have obviously you got your radio by the side of your bed, and I'd have a I'd fall asleep as like a 8 or 9 year old listening to the cricket in England, and some childhood memories and things like that. But I always I used to play a bit of cricket as well, and I always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So not anymore. But
I grew up in South Australia, and it's really it's hot everywhere really in Australia in the summer.
Yep.
But I played softball.
Yep.
And I played netball in the winter, but I'd look at everyone out, boys out there and the men in their whites,
Yep.
and I'd go, how could you do that? I'd go and play softball for a couple of hours. That's enough.
Yeah,
and then they're there all day. I could not play cricket.
It doesn't always make sense to wear the long pants and shirts and stuff in cricket, does it? But I mean, it's always tradition can be a good thing sometimes.
Yeah,
and
in
it's
the south. Yeah.
The bat on the ball, right? Yeah.
Look at us. I see we bonding over cricket.
Yeah, cricket.
You're
Cricket, beer and swimming. What can you like?
And while we're on sport, what sort of footy? Do you like footy?
I do.
What
AFL.
Oh, easy. Look at us go. Are you sure you're
Are
not
you from Queensland? I guess you're born in Adelaide, right?
So I lived in Adelaide. Years, South Australia for 20 years, 10 years in between everyone else. So.
No, I'm originally from Perth, so always AFL growing up, but a Fremantle Dockers supporter. Not that we've had a lot of success over the years, unfortunately, but it's always you stick with them, right? They're your team through thick and thin. So
I have a debate with a lot of people. I have two teams, right? Because I'm from South Australia, so I go for the Adelaide Crows. Hate Port Adelaide. I don't hate many things, but I was brainwashed well with that. At Port, and Collingwood, and of course living up
standard,
here,
isn't it?
It is. That's right. And living up here. Brisbane Lions. I lived on the Sunshine Coast for 20 years, and my girlfriend started going to the footy.
Yep.
And she said, come with me. And then we saw them train out the front of Maluba Surf Club. And they're all right. So I go to the footy. Because I used to only go when the Crows come up.
Okay.
And sometimes it was every 2 years.
Yep.
So I missed my footy. So I started going, and then it just so happened to be when the Lions were winning.
Well, they did so well those years ago. It was about 2000, 2001, 2002, I think, wasn't it?
And
where
three.
They won, and three.
And in
three
2004 was the worst day of my life when Port Adelaide beat us in the grand final.
Oh, no. That was your fourth.
That would have been the
fourth.
We made the fourth, but Port Adelaide beat us, which was just, I'd rather just come
you can't win them all, Mad Mums. Surely three's enough. I mean, I'm a Dockers supporter. We never won one, Don't hold them all.
That's Crows' turn now.
Crows, is it? Well, this time of year, everyone's sort of hopeful for their football team. But
that's good. It's all about to start. So.
Yeah. But the rugby league's huge up here as well, the league.
Yeah, Broncos Cowboys playing tonight.
Yeah, I was up in Townsville yesterday, and there was a number of people flying down that were the Cowboys supporters, obviously, and so there's down there, on the plane, people could overhear people talking about it. So
we'll be watching it on the big screen. I said to my daughter, I'll be there, let's go, because that's on Suncorp.
Oh yeah, cool.
Because we're in Brisbane, and she said, because we've got the little grandson now, he's 1, and she said, I said, that's all right, we'll just have a beer and watch it on the big TV. I can handle that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, maybe I'll have to tune in as well. Haven't quite got into the league yet, but I've only this is my first season based in Brisbane, so I have to check it out and see.
Yeah. And it's a big. That's something else that a lot of people don't consider is you might say you haven't got a wife and kids to miss when you go away, but it's things like your footy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might be working for the first grand final Freo ever get into.
Yeah,
how important is that?
Totally, and it's the same.
Like, aware of that.
It's the same like playing sport as well, right? Like
yes, exactly.
it can make it challenging. Like if like I used to play cricket, but that was before I was working sort of in fly-out work. But like it's one of those things that we have a couple of players that that were only available kind of every second game or whatever. It makes it it does make it hard for those sorts of things if
that's right.
if that's something that you really enjoy doing.
And a lot of people just end up stopping. But we do play out at work.
Yep.
I had a hit of tennis.
Oh,
the
nice.
Other night.
Nice.
There was 8 of us off crew.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, which was a bit of fun. I was gosh, haven't done that for years. It was good. No one was really good, and we just had a hit and a laugh. And it was only for an hour and a half, and it was great.
Facilities are pretty good. Most of the time, there's some good stuff. Obviously, gyms and some different basketball or whatever normally.
Yeah.
So
that's right. It's good to try and do something because. If the food's any good, you can end up eating.
Well, certainly,
Put
on. The food was good. Yeah, I probably put on about 5 kilos in the 12 months. Not too bad, but it's very easy to do. You don't even realise it. Like it's sort of, and especially working, when you got the long shifts, right? Eating breakfast early. Then by the time you get to lunchtime, you're really hungry, and then dinner time, and a couple of beers as well on top, and
no exercise.
No, you're too tired a lot of the time.
That's right. Or there's not enough time between getting home, eating, catching up, waiting for Wi-Fi to hook in.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, and then you've got to go to sleep because you're getting up at 4:30 or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's something else for people to think about.
Yeah, I think it's big. People got to find their own routine, don't they? Or what works for them. Like, I mean, I remember there used to be people that would get up at like 3:30 or something, and they'd be in the gym, and I like my sleep more than that. I can't imagine getting up that early, but some people do.
We've got about 4 on our crew now who do that.
Oh wow! Okay.
I said, "What time do you get up?" I'm just after 3. What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But they can do it, and it's a huge part of their life. So.
Yep. Yeah, and it's what works for each. I guess when you're in that, when you're out on site, you got to work out, what's the best system or plan that works for you, so that you do your work, but you also get a bit of downtime, and you stay fit and healthy as well.
Right. And it can change. I've found because I've been doing it for about 13 years.
Okay.
And it's changed. My routines have changed. I used to do it that way, now I do it this way, or different sites.
It probably is also just like giving it that thought, isn't it? About what works for you, not just sort of slipping into, very easy, obviously, to, go to the bar and which is a good thing to do as well, right? But just making sure you're in control of what it is that you're doing, I guess, or you've got a plan around it,
and everything in moderation.
Yep.
You've still got to be 0 in the morning.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we had a blanket drug and alcohol test.
Okay.
Recently, everyone on crew,
everyone
passed, which was awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Which that's what I'd expect. You expect people you're working for.
Yeah. It's a massive safety issue, right? Like, I mean, you need your your own safety is based on the on the guys and girls that you're working with. So if they're not safe, then you're not safe either. So
don't want to work with them.
Now for a word from our sponsor. Welcome Julia Hartman and the Bantax Accounting Group to Team Mad Mumsy. Julia is my awesome accountant. She has written 2 books with financial expert Noel Whittaker, and has a passion to help us miners make the most out of our hard-earned cash. Head to bantax.com.au/miners. That's BANTACS to download your free miners booklet and a spreadsheet that will help you calculate the weight of your tools you need for your job. Why, you ask? Well, you might be able to hitchhike a ride with them and claim your trips to work. Sounds confusing? Not at all. Just head over to bantax.com.au and let Julia and the team help you out. You will also find loads of free information and advice on property investing if you plan to really do some great things with your money. Again, that's bantax.com.au/miners, and tell them Mad Mumsy sent you.
I want to ask you a few things because you talk to a lot of employers. what is it that for the new people that are listening who are trying to get into the mines, they've been trying forever, what sort of things are they looking for in their resume, do you think? Or how can they stand out?
Yeah.
Of course, get your cover card
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, more generally, it is making sure that the way the information that you present about yourself is really, really clear.
Yep.
And, you know, even just simple things like, you know, get someone else to check, you know, a separate pair of eyes to actually look at your resume and just and look at the way, you know, make sure you've spell checked it and things like that. Like, you know, it's a lot of the time that, you know, it doesn't always happen, but you know, it's also if you can demonstrate, you know, where you've showed just a little bit of initiative, or you've gone a bit beyond just the position that you're required to do, and particularly if you can highlight, you know, particularly like safety being such an important thing, you can put an emphasis on that as well, I think.
Yeah.
But I also think it's important to especially if you're coming in from the outside, is to really look at your own networks as well, and you know, a lot of work. While some jobs are advertised, a lot of jobs aren't. So it is things like you know, thinking about who you know, and you know, joining Facebook groups about mining and opportunities. You know, listening to podcasts like yours, and but you know, there's a lot of information out there, and you know, just by taking that effort to do that, it'll help you stand out from the crowd. And you know, and it is a tough, you know, it can be tough to get into from the outside, absolutely. Yeah. But you know, often you might find a way into the industry perhaps through like shutdown work, and then you can work your way into a more permanent position as well. Is another pathway to look at. But even things like you know, not everybody likes it, but things like LinkedIn can be a way. You know, there's a lot of recruiters and employers that are on LinkedIn, and so for me, like when we're talking about Cover Card, we'll often find employers and others that are you know, through LinkedIn as well, and they do post jobs and things on LinkedIn as well. Yeah. So, but you know, there's no magic sort of bullet, but it is a lot about being really persistent, I think, and you know, and think about what you post on social media as well, and things like that. Employers do look at those things these days, so just be a little bit careful. You know, Google yourself, see what comes up. You know, you know, and see if you can, if there's anything, you know, just make sure those things are good, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, there's no one simple solution, unfortunately. What have you found in your
well, one of the biggest things I say is, a lot of people you'll see, again, in the Facebook groups, it's who you know, it's who you know. Well, if it's who you know, start, like you say, start to get to know people.
Yep.
Join in those Facebook groups, private message some people, you know.
Absolutely.
Ask around, see what's going on. Have your finger on the pulse.
Yep.
Sign up for alerts on Sync and places like that.
Yep.
Know who the players are, who are the main labour hire and contract places that are hiring. Send them your cover card.
Yes, absolutely.
And but then ring them,
Yep.
follow up.
Yep.
You know, the current job that I got, if I didn't ring up because someone told me they're hiring again out here, I said, oh, well, they've got my name.
Yep.
They didn't ring me. I had to ring them. Oh, yeah, all right, we'll put your name forward. One thing I don't know if it's, you know, you get annoying to them. They go, God, give this woman a job. When she stops ringing us.
That's that persistence I was talking about, right? Like it's not easy, you know, to get in there from outside. It's not easy to do, but it's
but it does happen.
Yeah, and you just have to stick at it. You know, it's and it's almost like, you know, every day or every week you just consistently take actions towards making it happen. I think, and you know, it's easy to do some stuff for a few days or a week and then go, oh, it's not working out, it's too hard. But you just stick at it over time.
I agree. And as the industry hopefully seems to be trying to turn back around from its downturn to at least go on a bit more level, there's a lot more jobs around. There's a lot more competition for the experienced operators. And so there's actually traineeships and things that are going Some of them are in-house, but if you know someone who works at that line, you know, some of them they don't even advertise. You have to ring up. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Labour hire places and stuff like that, because if they advertise, they know they're going to have 10,000 people to go through. He'll just say, "Yeah, I want one of those jobs," and they've got nothing. They haven't done COB or medical, stand 11. They haven't even got a mining resume. That you know. No. So
no, that makes that absolutely. I'm really aligned with that. You know, I guess the other thing is to, you know, consider whether you want to. You know, there are services out there to look at your resumes as well, and that might be something to consider. But I would suggest getting a trusted friend or pair of eyes to look at it first, and then sort of taking it from there. But,
that's it. And see what. It depends what you're trying to get into in the industry. Like for me, I'm basically coming from as an operator. So you know, look at what you've actually operated. You know, have you driven the tractor on the farm your whole life? You might not have a ticket for it, but you've done it. You know, do you know how to service your car? Little things like that.
Yeah, it's identifying the skills that you've got that are transferable, right? That you can say, hey, I've done this elsewhere. This is how it can relate to how you know, getting into the mining sector.
And like you said about safety too.
Yes.
How you work safely in your current job. Whatever. That's a huge part.
I mean, you know, and I guess also, you know, there's city-based. And the more experience, you know, if you want to get into fly in, fly out, but you can also look at, you know, building experience in a city job as well, right? Or you know, in a regional area where, you know, you can grow your skills and experience, and then it's identifying those things that do cross over into the mining sector and being able to emphasise those.
Yeah, like if you have an opportunity to get a job in a small quarry or something.
You
know, that gives you a little bit of moving dirt experience.
Yeah. Foot in the door, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
So we might start to wrap up.
Yes, absolutely.
Before we do, is there anything that you're really excited about right now?
Well, I just wanted to mention one other quick thing about the cover card, if I can.
Absolutely,
that was the that was so as well as like easily sharing it via email for employers and stuff. The other thing that people can do is, and it's purely optional, you don't have to, but you can connect your Facebook account, and then you can then share your information via private messages with your friends and contacts. So why that might be useful is if you're in a bar and you're having a beer or whatever, and you know you're talking to someone and they say, "Oh, I've heard of a job." You know, like we talked about before. You know, there's a job or there's something happening over on this site. You know, send me your details. You know, you don't even need to know. Like, ask them, "Oh, what's your email address?" or whatever. You can actually just confine them. Our system can integrate with Facebook, and you just find your friend, and you just press send the information to that friend, and then you've sent them off. It's a link to that document that I was talking about with all your information really neatly presented. So it just means when you join CoverCard, you can obviously email off, but you actually can use. We talk about it being helpful to have different connections and networks. You can actually immediately leverage off your Facebook, or build off your Facebook contacts as well. And so you can also do that with LinkedIn if you had that as well, but it's particularly Facebook. I mean, it's like rather than uploading an email address book or something like that, most of us have most of our contacts these days on Facebook, and it just means it's like having them as your address book to share your cover card information with.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to mention that one as well before.
Can you send it as a text?
An SMS. So what you could do is that link that you send off to your Facebook friend via private message, you could actually copy and paste that link and put it into an SMS and do it like that.
Yeah, so many options. And with technology, I know you're a bit of a technology geek.
A bit, yeah.
And here we are in a co-working space in Brisbane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like, we're at Google or something.
It's not far off, but don't worry, they have beers in the fridge as well, so it's all good.
You didn't show me that when we went.
They normally don't kick them off until later in the afternoon, but basically that link. So we make it easy to connect your Facebook friends and share, but you can use that any way that you want to use that link to all your stuff, you can. And the other important thing, just briefly as well, is that like your information that you enter on our system is secure, and only you choose who can access it. So on our system, if an employer comes and they create a role, we don't show them your information. They can't see, and even me as an admin of the website, I can't see most of the information that's in there.
Yep.
Because the images are encrypted and it's highly secure. But when an employer creates that job and says, hey, we're looking for people with these tickets and licenses, we don't then say, here you are, here's the information of the people we've got. We actually say...
here's everything about them.
Correct. We don't.
Yeah.
We're really, really important about people being in control of their own information.
Awesome.
So you basically need to say, yes, I'm interested in that job, and then that releases the information to that employer or recruiter. So, and it's the same with, obviously, this sharing functionality that we've talked about. That's completely in your hands as a member on CoverCard. That's your information is not shared, period, with anybody unless you choose to share it. And like so many job boards and things like that these days, like you apply for a job and you add your resume. Your resume then can then be searchable by others and things like that. And it's just it's one thing that we wanted to be really particular about is to make it better, a system that really helps job seekers or workers, and that they're in control of their information.
That's a really good point of difference, isn't it? I hadn't thought about that. If you upload your resume, that other people.
Often it depends on the website and things like that. But we're really particular about it's your information, it's your data. Use our tool to use our site to help manage it and share it. But ultimately, we don't. It's up to you who you share it with. Yeah. So whether that's applying for a job that's on our system, whether that's sharing it with an email address or Facebook, but it's always in your hands.
Awesome.
So
I'm glad that you brought that up.
Okay.
Because I did mention that to a lady that I met up with a couple of days ago down here that I was meeting up with you.
Yes, cool. Awesome. Small world, huh?
Going for another interview. She said, oh, dear, what if someone got your information off there? That's they know everything about you. And I went, I'll make sure I bring that up. So I'm very glad that you brought that up, because it's obviously a concern that.
Yeah, and there's a couple of other things about that. They'll just quickly touch on. So we also don't ask for your full address. So we only ask for your postcode.
Oh, right.
So what that means is that it just makes your information more secure, because someone doesn't. We need a postcode, because if you're matching on a location to say, there's a job in this area, it needs to go to the right people. Because if you live in Broome and it's a job in Townsville, then it's not going to be any good for you. But we don't even ask for your full address. Obviously, if you upload an image of things that have that on, that the address is there, but we don't actually capture that as a field in our system. Only the postcode, and so that helps protect it, and all the images are encrypted. So so we've really thought about this quite a lot, and again, because John, my mate, we're really trying to build something that helps him and helps others that are in similar scenarios, similar situations.
John the Boilermaker.
John the Boilermaker, mate. Yeah. John Gwynn is his name, and he's.
Is he still boilermakering?
He is.
Is that a word? Boilermakering? Perhaps not.
We'll put it on your resume. We'll talk about getting the spelling right. Yeah?
We'll do the spell check.
Yeah, that's right. And John's actually driving. John's actually on his way driving across the Nullarbor as we speak, and to Melbourne, and then he's going to come and catch up with me in the next week or two up here too. But,
so I'm sure more coffees will be had.
Yes, just coffees, of course.
Right. So, awesome. And what is the best way for people to get in touch with you and CoverCard?
Yep, absolutely. So obviously our website is www.covercard.com.au, and CoverCard is all one word, but if you Google it with a space, it will come up on the top as well. Yep. You can send us an email at admin@covercard.com.au, or you can they're probably the best ways to do it. There's also a contact form on our site as well if you want to.
Facebook page.
Facebook page.
I'll
We've
leave
got
all
Twitter.
the links on the show notes.
We use Twitter a bit as well.
I love Twitter. We've had a few chats on
Yes, Twitter. Yeah. Twitter's pretty good. Yeah. We've got a LinkedIn page as well if people are keen. But I reckon on our website there's there's a couple of videos and stuff to really show people how it works as well.
Been great.
So I'd recommend.
Too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then when someone joins, we also then share, like, there's 3 videos that we send like a week or 2 apart, just to make sure that you know everything that there is to know about it. Just in there, only like 2 minutes long, and it's like a screen video on a mobile phone. You can see exactly how it works. So really
so anyone can do. It really outlines what to do.
Yes, we go through step by step, and that's that. If you see, like, seeing a job on Facebook and wanting to grab that email address and send off your info, like, we show exactly how to do that. I mean, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. But if you're not sure about technology, we're really trying to make it as easy as possible. For you to use our system.
That's perfect. Thanks so much, Matt.
No, thanks for having me. It's awesome.
It's been great.
Bit of
out in the co-working space with a bit of background noise.
Well, we should
it's cool.
We should go and crack a beer, shouldn't we?
I reckon you should. I better do my outro first.
Okay, yeah. Go on.
It's time to say goodbye now. We could chat all day, and I have been known to. Thanks again, Matt. Cheers.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All the links we discussed in this episode can be found in the show notes at madmumsy.com/beers34. That's mad, MUMZIE, and the number 34. Be sure to subscribe in your favourite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Or you can always listen on the website too. Just head to madmumsy.com/beers. And of course, please share with your mates. Until next week, stay safe, be real, be special, and have fun, for we only live once. Cheers.